Happy Wisdom Wednesday. This week is all about joy. So this week we're getting really close to Christmas now. We're in the third week of Advent, only one more week to go after this. So we really should be preparing with joy for Jesus' coming. We see when Mary is pregnant with Jesus, and she's preparing to give birth to the Savior, she also shows that same joy. The thing about Mary is that she was pregnant with Jesus when she was really just a young girl. At this point, she wasn't married and suddenly was mysteriously pregnant with no real explanation in the eyes of the rest of the world. It looked a little suspicious, so I'm sure Mary was under some stress as well. Sounds a little similar to the way we get so stressed right before the Christmas season and all our shopping and decorating and preparing the house for guests. It gets a little stressful for us, but we need to remember the same way that Mary did, that this season is about joy. We're joyfully awaiting Jesus' coming. Even when things get stressful, we can't forget about the joy. One of my favorite examples of joy in preparing for Jesus comes from the story of the Visitation, when Mary goes and visits her cousin Elizabeth, who also has a kind of miraculous pregnancy. She's pregnant with John the Baptist, and we see such a genuine expression of joy from Elizabeth and from the yet unborn John the Baptist. We read that as soon as Elizabeth hears the voice of Mary, the infant in her womb leaps for joy. That's the kind of joy that we need to show at this Christmas season as we prepare for Jesus to come. So how can we start living this joy in our lives? One of my favorite ways to remember this is thinking of joy as an acronym. The J stands for Jesus, the O for others, and the Y for you. That's the order we should be putting things in our lives. If we put Jesus first, as he called us to, everything's gonna fall into place. If Jesus is at the heart of everything you do, you can't go wrong. The O, when we put others next after Jesus, instead of putting ourselves up on a pedestal, Jesus preached about this his whole life. He wanted us to forgive others for wrongs they had done. He wanted us to turn the other cheek when people hurt us. He wants us to serve other people, to show other people that same kind of love that Jesus has for us. He wants us to put others before ourselves. That's why we put others second after only Jesus. The why, you, if you're putting yourself last, it's a surefire way to humble yourself and to live a better life as a Christian. Putting all of yourself into Jesus and into others, there's no way you can fail. That's the surest way to joy. One of my favorite depictions of this visit between Mary and Elizabeth is the painting by Corby Eisbacher. It's called Jump for Joy. You can see in the painting the joy that Elizabeth shows, almost the disbelief that the mother of God, this promised Messiah, should come to her and to visit her. Wouldn't it be great if we could each capture that same kind of joy in our lives as we prepare for Christmas? To express some of that joy that we see on the faces of Mary and Elizabeth as they meet at the Visitation. So let's try to truly put this joy into practice as we fast approach Christmas. It's coming quick, so don't waste any time being stressed or worrying about silly things of this world. Try to find that joy that Mary and Elizabeth and the unborn John the Baptist felt just upon being in the presence of Jesus. He's coming soon, so prepare your heart for it. Put Jesus first. Put Jesus at the heart of things. He's the reason for this season. So why don't we make an example of that and really show people that Jesus is first in our lives? Put others next. Serve others. Serve their needs joyfully. Put your selfish needs last, because selfishness is going to be the thief of your joy this season. So let's really focus on putting all of our joy into these final weeks of Advent and welcome Jesus joyfully into our world.